add into another vehicle that would have to be built for this. So, and they don't make the 2017s anymore. You'd be looking at a 2018. The pricing was not available at the time that we looked into these. So you're looking at least a 12-week, 10 to 12-week time to order anything comparable. On top of that, with the Equinox, we have asked Tasca to hold the vehicle without a deposit for the past 2 weeks. So they were willing to hold it this long. If we don't go forward with this, those vehicles will be gone. I just want to make sure everybody understands that.
Okay.
Madam President.
Mr. Edwards?
Thank you. It seems to me like the fire department's done an admirable job going out and finding free money to solve a problem, which was created during the budget cycle, and here we are today with the solution to the vehicle issues the department has, and I can't fathom why we're squabbling over utilizing free money to acquire vehicles that we desperately need for the department.
Madam President, with that said, I'd like to make a motion to purchase these two vehicles.
Second. 3.
Well, we'll do two, and then we'll do the other one. It's on a different line.
Discussion.
Apologize.
It's a different,
I heard him put it all together earlier, so I didn't know if it was.
we discussed all three.
I don't think I have the power to actually make them vote on what they want to make.
Motion's been made and second. Any further discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to say
Ms.
something.
Ryan?
Mr. Edwards, give me a break. We are trying to do things with the budget. When you make these statements, it's just like I don't.
We're getting into a pissing contest. That's it, okay? You can discuss that offline, okay? You have an issue with him?
I still want to protest it, so I'm just going to protest it.
Very good. Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Discussion.
Ms. Hilton?
I could be okay with this, but I want assurances from the town administrator.
Use the microphone.
But I would only be willing to go along with this if the town administrator assures me that he reads the grant in full, and the narrative and the description and what we've committed to and that we don't find out that we've committed this vehicle to some sort of activity that we can't possibly do with it here. That would be my main concern, with all due respect to you guys. And I've written grants before.
It's valid.
Sometimes it's easy to get going on a plan, and then, you can't fulfill it. And
Sure.
I don't want to be in that position.
I am happy to make that commitment to you, and I have no personal ego problem that if, as I say, at the 11th hour, I see something that doesn't look right, I'll stop it.
Mr. LeBeau, would you consider amending your motion to include that the town administrator has made a commitment to review the grant that's appropriate for this purchase?
Absolutely. He said that earlier on, that he would do that, so.
So
I
we'll
had
make it
that
part of the motion.
Part of the motion.
All right,
So,
let me start
Mr.
over. Hold on.
Edwards?
Let me get this one right. It's my first one.
No,
Let me
no,
get my
you-
glasses. I'm all right then? I already did it?
You already
Okay, I'm
did
good.
it. Mr. Edwards, do you agree to that amendment?
I will second and agree to that amendment.
We have a motion that's been amended and seconded. We can vote on all of it together?
The Equinox as well?
No.
Okay.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor? Unanimous. Thank you. Now,
No, you can do the Equinox. No, I'm done.
now it's item, let me just mention what it is to the public. It's E3. Fire Chief Lloyd, request approval to purchase one used 2014 Chevrolet Equinox from Tasca Buick GMC of Woonsocket for $16,715 to be paid with FTR appropriation and fire prevention account. Now, Mr. LeBeau.
I'll make that a motion.
I'll second.
To approve.
To approve the purchase of the Equinox GMC from Woonsocket for $16,715 to pay
to be paid with FTR appropriated for fire prevention account.
And I have a
Second.
second. Motion's been made and second. All those in favor?
Discussion.
Oh, discussion.
Microphone.
Is that frustrating for you? Because I'd like to ask a question, if that's okay.
No, I just thought we had discussed both items at the same time. But you may proceed.
So, one question, the smoke detector fund. That fund is accessible, meaning the town treasurer has said we can withdraw money from that fund.
Well, I'm not, wait, the
I-
fire
I'm
marshal's
actually
laying a
prepared
piece
for
of
that.
paper,
This
so
is,
I'll
this
let
is
him
actually
speak.
Rhode Island law, where that is drawn out of, what that account is to be used for. I brought a copy of it for you if you need it, and I highlighted it. That says the fees collected by the local fire authority shall be used for fire prevention purposes in that particular city, town, fire district, or other municipal subdivision. It's specific for fire prevention.
Right.
So the vehicle is going to be used for fire prevention. The law does cover that.
Okay, thank
They
you.
use it for the fire prevention in the schools when they do the programs and all that, so that's the account they use that money for. It's legit.
Madam President, one more question for that guy.
Yes,
Put
Mr.
your name.
LeBeau.
Put Tom.
Is the car still available?
They are holding the vehicle till tomorrow.
10-4. Over now.
Very good. Any other comments? Motion's been made and second. All those in favor? Unanimous.
Thank you.
Financial business, F1, Counselor Edwards, request 500 for the garden club to be transferred from council contingency to account 10205114 to garden club account 62108005.
Madam President, this was brought to my attention by the Garden Club that they were under the impression that the money was not in the budget, so I submitted this item on their behalf, and after the agenda had been posted, it was decided, or it was discovered that the money was actually in fact in the budget, so I wish to withdraw this item.
Thank you, Mr. Edwards. F1 has been withdrawn. G, new business, G1, DPW Director requests council authorization to proceed with 2017 annual STIP project requests. Mr. Anderson.
Okay, if I can go quick. All right, so this is the 2017 annual update for the state's Transportation Improvement Program, or STIP. Currently, the town has 20 projects identified on the STIP, and I did in your packet, there is a list of all the projects that I have to reprioritize and put through. And they have all the, and currently the funding or when the funding could come available for those projects is identified on the sheet. In 2016, we actually put 24 projects in for consideration, and they only took 20 of them. 4 of them right now weren't included. And that included resurfacing Highland Road, Riverside Drive culvert replacement, reconstruction of Kanika Street, if I said that right, and Mount Hope, and the Mount Hope Bay Greenway, which was put in by Peter and a bike group that, because it didn't have town backing, really got put to a review committee and things like that. It didn't really make it anywhere out of their review. So this year, when we're looking at those projects and the update coming up for the year, I'm going to recommend that we put the 4 projects that didn't get approved back in, see if we can get funding to the tip for that. I'm going to look at updating the main roads to resurfacing to include a section that's, for some reason, I don't know why it wasn't included. They were going from, I want to include from Highland to the 24, which is the rutted area that happened with the water. I want to add that to the, see if I can add that to that existing project. And then I want to reclassify Peter's Bikeway project to a town-sponsored project, so see if we can get funding for that, to available for the tip. If we get approval tonight, I'm going to sit down with the administrator and we'll try and reprioritize all the projects or give them a ranking as we see fit. Submit it to the DOT by the 11th, and see what happens. See if they'll add them. Just in addition to that, I'm actually looking at 2 other traffic signal issues. One is at Bogomarsh and Fish. I have talked to the chief. I have talked to DOT. That's in planning right now, and they expect the funds might be available at 2019. We're trying to see if we can, between Chief Blake and myself, we're trying to see if we can get that pushed up so that it comes online when the roundabout comes online, to try and help alleviate some traffic issues there. And then they're also looking at a potential future traffic signal right down Fish Road at Industrial Drive, where when Longplex opens up, it could be a traffic nightmare at that corner, at that intersection. So I'm looking at too, possibly adding that to the tip as well. That would be the only other projects that I can think of in town, unless the council has any other areas that, yes, he's shaking his head, that we could add, then I'd be more than happy to take suggestions and add that. And
Madam President, I have a question for him.
Mr. LeBeau?
Bill,
yes,
Main Road from Highland Road to the highway, can we fix the water problem before we fix the road?
you mean
Because if the pond overflows again, it's
Yep.
gonna wash the road out again. So we need to fix the dam, before we fix the road, because we're gonna waste all that money again. One rainstorm, the thing overflows again and eats the highway away. So instead of wasting money paving that,
Right.
pave my street and then fix that after you fix the pond.
I'll look at that.
I just figured I'd throw that out
See-
there.
Dave, your street, okay. And yours
No,
too?
but the pond, that road, something has to be done.
Yes, I know, because of the drainage system on the road,
If we
right.
pave it and it gets washed out again, then we're gonna be paving it again. So we need to
Okay.
fix the pond first, get on the state.
What I'll do is I'll add the drainage system on that roadway there to see if that can be upgraded. All right.
10-4.
Any other comments or questions?
Madam President.
Mr. Edwards?
Sure. Two questions. One would be Main Road, where Sousa Road is, and Schooner Drive. I don't know if it's worth inquiring with the chief, but because of the angle of the road, if you're coming out from Schooner and taking a left, that's kind of like a blind corner. It's hard to get out. So it's just something worth mentioning to the chief to see if it's something that a signal would
Main
be
Road and
beneficial.
Sousa, right?
Main Road, Sousa, and Schooner.
Four-way stop sign.
Something. Just and then the second question I had was I'm unfamiliar with this Mount Hope Bay Greenway.
I will, Peter can explain this.
I figured since you were
Yeah,
here,
see
it would
what's-
be worthwhile to ask what that was.
Go ahead, Peter. Either one. Go ahead.
Well, Mount Hope Bay Greenway is a evolution of names here. It started way back about 12 years ago with your father, believe it or not. I put in a tip proposal for the town as a citizen. At that time, the state gave the opportunity to, the town was limited to 3 proposals per year, and a citizen could put 1 in. So we were able to put in 4. So it's been in the TIP program for 12 years, and it's been on the study program. It never got off the ground for construction or design. And it's been dragging there, and it needs a political clout to get it moving. Now, recently, the state planning administration office, basically it's running this for the DOT, they stated that a citizen can put an application into a proposal, but the funding will not be given to that person. So it's got to be an authorized town official transportation body that will get funded. So that's why we're suggesting that we have to really move this direction as a town project to get funding.
So is this like this is obviously a bike path? Is this
It's a walking, biking path along the railroad tracks, which I could show you over here.
so the railroad tracks at the on the bottom of my street, I guess Randy Street, on the bottom of last street? Correct. Okay. And that's the one that's the bike path that would
It's
essentially
basically
connect
the
Portsmouth to
right-of-way.
Fall River?
It's basically the right-of-way of the railroad tracks.
Okay.
So that runs from Fall River to the Secana River Bridge to Evans Avenue.
Okay. That was the question that I had. And because I do know that there's some crime issues that could generate from a bike path specifically that connects Fall River to
Well-
that area of our town. But it's something we can discuss at a future
That's
meeting.
definitely a discussion in the
Yeah.
future. It's a concern, but if you go into it, you find that it's not really a big issue because there's hundreds and hundreds of bike paths throughout the country. They had this same concern.
You might want to get to a microphone.
I can speak louder than you guys, stick it in the microphone.
You tell them.
Because we couldn't hear you at all.
Can you hear me?
believe it or not. But anyway, I'll get to the microphone.
Thank you.
So those concerns, the security, crime, they all can be addressed in the future. And they can be handled by many ways. When it goes in construction, putting up barriers up on the property lines. The neighbors could do things too to protect their property. Police patrolling. And then when you have more and more people on the bike path, basically those people are eyes watching the neighborhood. So that can be overcome. It's for the good of the community. This is an asset for the town of Tiverton, which is being wasted over 30 years now. It could be a facility that could change the quality of place in Tiverton. If you get a quality of place in Tiverton that's improved, that improves the quality of life. And there are all these aspects for a bike path and walking path, as you know, for health, recreational, transportation, air pollution, blah, blah, blah. So this project, if it ever gets off the ground, it will be 100 times better than what it is now. Waste landform along the shoreline of Tiverton.
Yeah,
This would open up the green space, open space, and the shoreline.
No worries. Thank you. I appreciate your clarification on to what that specific project
And
was.
it's in the narrative that you
Yeah.
have in your package.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very good explanation. I have only one question.
Microphone?
Yes. No, because it was like maybe
Oh.
2-3 years ago, when Boston announced their 10-year plan to move commuter rail down to Fall River. I thought it was part of that plan also to come into Tiverton. And I'm just checking to see if
Well,
that,
Massachusetts is Massachusetts. They're not going to come to Rhode Island. State of Rhode Island's got to do Rhode Island to Rhode Island.
I was
Now-
just wondering if you heard anything at the state of Rhode Island.
I don't think
about
so,
that.
because
Okay.
as you know, the bridge has been taken away, the railroad bridge. And that would serve, that railroad track would basically serve the people of Quinnipiac Island. It's very few, maybe 20, 25 people, if we're lucky, that would use it here in Tiverton. And it would cost you about $100,000 in federal subsidized money for, a $15 ticket.
No, it's more than that, I'll tell you
Well, I'm
that.
just throwing out those numbers randomly. It's not feasible, really, at this time.
Yep.
But I'm in favor of railroad transportation, mass transportation.
Thank you. Okay, so to recap, I think what you're asking is to add the 4 items that are listed in the document: the resurfacing of Highland Road, Riverside Drive culvert replacement, reconstruction of Canonicus, the add Mount Hope Bay Greenway, and then additionally, traffic light at Fish and Bogamash.
Traffic, well, that's presently in DOT planning, so that may not be even a TIP project. They may be putting that in themselves.
Okay, so not
So
that one?
that may not go in, that may go in, but that's the only thing I'm waiting to hear back from DOT on, and on how where that sits in the entire realm of
Okay,
everything.
so you'll need confirmation on that one.
Correct. And then in the
Traffic
future
light
would be,
at-
yeah,
Okay, traffic light at Industrial Way in Fish.
Fish, correct.
And then a potential traffic light at Suzer in Maine? Is that what,
Or a stop sign, or.
Just a suggestion to take
Right.
a look at it, because I know taking a left out of there
Right.
can be challenging.
Okay, but that's really, to me, that's not, if that's just a stop sign, that's not really a TIP project, so we could just take that up with DOT and the state themselves if that's the case.
okay, so there's 5 items plus a potential 6th one with once you get confirmation on the traffic light at Fish and Bogamash.
Right. Except one of them is just one of the items is, there's 5 items. There's one of them is add distance on the road, that's what it is. Add
Yep.
distance, right, okay.
So is that a good recap? Or that's what you're asking to add to the current STIP
Requests.
list. Any other questions from the council?
Madam President.
Mr. LeBeau?
I kind of missed what you said there on that Munhole Bay Greenway. Is that part of what they're asking for right now? The bike path? I'd like that scratched from there. That needs a lot more study to let that go. It's going right in front of my house, and I don't want it there. We had enough crime down there. Now, people walking down woods and tracks and beaches without having a bicycle path giving them a straight shot right to my yard. You know, it's right through my yard. No, so I'd like to, and not just me, all the neighbors down there, the three of us, probably don't want it. So, if we could, scratch that
Madam President,
for further discussion.
Madam President,
Ms. Ryan?
I also have met with neighbors. I've also met with the people in the bike club. I found a lot of people who are very enthusiastic about it. People have sent me emails about it in support. There were a lot of people who were afraid of the East Bay bike path, and they were afraid of just what you're saying, the crime and all that stuff. And that has not happened. And this is a place in North Tiverton. There's not a lot of stuff in North Tiverton. This would be a bike path, walking path. It's just, you know, it's beautiful down there, and it also has in the East Bay bike path, and I know that one for sure, and I know it's also true with other places. It increases the value of people's houses, and so your fear about the crime is not shown in other bike paths, and Peter has said it. We've got data on it. I know that you're not.
I saw a lot of deer down there. We can't displace them for little things.
Yeah, well, why don't you work on that a little bit? The deer will be fine. The bikers are not going to run over the deer.
How about, I saw a,
No, Mr. LeBeau.
no, I really did. I saw a flipper flower, whatever they call those protected ones. It's right in the middle of the bike path. I'll show you. DEM's going to have to be notified on the flipper flower. They're
Okay,
rare.
I would like to keep it in.
I think we have the list that we reiterated, and you can vote no on the whole thing, if you so choose. Is there anything else you need besides our approval to add these 5 items to the STIP
I don't think so.
list?
No, I don't think so. That's, yeah, I need council approval, right?
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve
A second.
the DPW director's list.
I have a motion and
I
a
have a
second.
second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. 1 opposed.
I'll have target practice. I know.
Next item on the agenda is G2, solicitor approval of agreement with Four Leaf Inc. of Pleasanton, California, and Town of Tiverton for, Mr. LeBeau, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thought we were done.
No, item G2. Town of Tiverton for Twin River Tiverton Construction Plan Review and Building Code Inspection Services. Mr. DeSisto.
This agreement is for the construction plan review for the Twin River project. This was bid out by the town council. The bids were reviewed by your building official. He has recommended Four Leaf, and that is why this agreement is before you tonight. Unfortunately, I can't recommend that you sign the agreement in its current form. There needs to be some changes made, in my opinion, to protect the town in the indemnification provisions. What concerns me is that there is language that was inserted into this agreement that would limit the liability of Four Leaf for their own negligence, and perhaps could expose the town to some damages if in fact there are problems with this. I don't for a moment believe that there will be, but if there is, my concern is that the town is protected. If that language is not changed, I cannot agree that you enter into an agreement with this group. I had a discussion this afternoon, a conference call with their lawyers from California. They told me that they will send some revised language. I'd ask that this be put down on your next meeting. And, you know, if the town is protected, then I'll recommend that you sign it. But if the indemnification agreement, if the indemnification language is not sufficient, then I won't agree. I just can't see the town agreeing to take on liability for what this company is going to do for this project. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions from the council?
Madam President,
Mr. Edwards?
can I make a motion to continue item G2 to the next council meeting?
Second.
Motion's been made and second. All those in favor? Unanimous. No requests for, no bids and requests for proposals. Town administrator announcements. Town council announcements.
Madam President,
Ms. Ryan?
I just wanted to, actually, I wanted to check with the solicitor. Is Joe Almond going to be at the meeting on Wednesday? For
Yes.
sure? Just to let people know that the casino subcommittee meeting is meeting at 6 o'clock on this Wednesday. And Joe Almond is the town
Manager.
Town
for
manager?
of
It's the
Lincoln.
town administrator.
town administrator of Lincoln. And he's going to come and he's going to talk to us about how
Much money you come in.
no, he's going to talk about different thoughts about how Lincoln allocated the money, the different pitfalls they have, things that we might want to discuss, might want to think about, some of the problems they had, some of the things to watch out for this, and am I getting everything? But
Yes,
basically,
you got it.
so I just thought I'd let people know about that, so that they could, if they're interested in coming, it's 6 o'clock on Wednesday, here.
Is it televised?
Ooh,
No.
no.
Any other council announcements or comments?
Madam President,
Ms. Hilton?
after you, Ms. Hilton.
Thank you. I do have a question for the town administrator. There was a little bit of hubbub and some questions this weekend about the use of the Code Red system. And I have to admit, I've received some emails and some phone calls and had some comments. I don't necessarily need an answer right this second, but I am a little curious as to what the status of the use of that system is and whether or not at some point you might let the council know.
I'm happy to keep you up to date right now. So last week, earlier in the week, I met with the Tiverton Celebrate, Linda Larson and Sally Black, and Chief Blakey, and among other things, just going over what the program was, which Linda just briefed us here a little while ago on. The idea came up of, should we notify via the Code Red about any traffic disruptions that would be caused by the parade? And I authorized that to happen. Unfortunately, the wording that went down to the people in Florida who manage this came out to be much more of a commercial than just a simple, hey, there will be disruptions of traffic at such and such a time on such and such a date. We have corrected the language, and when the Code Red goes out again on Friday, it'll be a very anodyne, statement of, stay away, or not even stay away, but just be aware that traffic will be disrupted by a parade and by the bonfire on Friday. So, yes, the wording was wrong.
Any other comments from the council?
Madam President,
Mr. Edwards?
this Thursday, since I see the chair of the landfill recycling committee there, we have our landfill recycling committee. So if anybody feels like coming out to the planning board meeting and wants to get there a little bit early, we're going to be talking about trash. It's going to be cool.
Very good.
Sounds like a lot of garbage.
Town solicitor announcements? None? Town clerk, item and announcements?
The only thing I have is that we completed the election on Tuesday. The results, I believe, are posted already on the website. Of the top 9 candidates, 3 of them were currently on the Budget Committee, and I have received resignations from for them positions on the Budget Committee. They all chose to stay on the Charter Commission. So we're working on that. It's all been certified now.
Very good. There's no closed executive session items. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Yep.
We are